Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and in this Power Apps Code Apps series. Today we are again going to create a Hello World program but now using NPM CLI. All the previous video which you have seen, we had used pack commands, but now we have got new CLI which basically is going to help us to create the project creation and all the setup activity which we are going to do. So people who would have followed the previous video, if you would have seen, this was the prerequisite or a high level step to set up a new Power Apps Code App project. Okay, you first have to create a npm or a white application which is still there. Then you would authenticate using pack command which is still there. But after that, there were so many of the manual stepping needs to be done to install the Power Apps, to install the type nodes, to create a provider file, to main tsx file and update the package JSON and all of that, right? Now, but using the CLI, that has become a little bit, not little bit, it's become quite easier, okay? And if you think about it, this is very much aligned to all the modern tool set which are available to create project or scaffolding of the project for us as a developer, right? So in this video, what we are going to see is the kind of difference between the pack command and the CLI. And we are also going to see how you can install the CLI, how you can create your first code app project using CLI. We will also understand the generated project structure, which is similar to what we used to have. Then we will try to run it locally and see how basically kind of it runs. So this is from the Microsoft official documentation, where you can see it says that it's from the PowerApps version 1.0.4. It includes a CLI for the code apps, and it basically help us to build code apps and replace the Power Platform CLI pack commands, which will be depreciated in the future releases, right? So anyways, this is going to pack commands are going to be depreciated. So we need to know how to create a new we need to create a code apps based project using npm CLI. So this is where this video would basically fit in terms of prerequisite. It is still same. You need to have a Power Platform environment with code apps enabled. For the people who would want to do that step by step, I have this video which is basically going to also tell you about the CLI, sorry, which is going to talk about all the how to set up the project structure from step by step and everything, and creating the Hello World program. If you would have watched the previous video where I have explained why code apps is there, how it is related to Canvas app, and how it is different, and what are the prerequisite to set up your local development environment and all of that. Okay, so I would probably skip that for now. And here you have to understand that this is the general prerequisite which you need to have. And currently the npm CLI has 4 commands: to initialize the code app, to start the development server, to push a version to your environment, and then there is one more command which is find Dataverse API. That is a different way of adding Dataverse action and all of that. Okay, now to basically set up or initialize the project, what we are going to do is let's basically go ahead and create a new project directory. It is so let me call it as hello world CLI. Okay, and then what we need to do is we need to basically run this command. Okay, so we already have a project template which is basically been created using white app, and what this command would do is it is going to basically kind of clone the project structure into my local folder. So okay, this will not work. 1 minute. Yeah. So this is going to clone the local project into my local folder. And once it is cloned, after that what we have to do is we have to do an npm install so that all the node modules are being installed. And that is when the third step is about initializing. Okay, to initializing the Power Apps, so that okay, the first one which is going to be generated, it is going to be a white based application, right? It's not related to Power Apps as a, but as soon as you will initialize it to a Power Apps based thing, that is when you are going to basically make it as a code apps. Okay, so this has been done. And now let me run the npm install. Okay, so the first step, sorry, I have to go to my folder. So it would have created a subfolder in here. You can rename this subfolder and then run it. Or if you want, you can do it on the root level also. But it needs to make sure that you are running the npm install where you have the package.json file. So I'm running the npm install and it is going to run the npm install. Okay, so npm run has completed, and now what we need to do is we need to run this command mpx powerfs init. What this will do is this is going to basically ask you certain set of questions, which is the environment on which you wanted to run this, and the name which you want to call it. So this is again a good experience, right? So that you are being asked as soon as you initialize it. So it is as simple as just running the command, and then so it is asking you to provide the environment ID. Now to get the environment ID, what you need to do is you need to basically go to the targeted environment and copy it from the URL. So I'm going to use this one. Sorry. I'm going to just copy it from the URL, paste it, and it is going to ask you the app name, which what you want to call it. I would say hello world using CLI. And now that's it. We are done, right? Now let's open the code by using code.hyphen. And what it did is, if you see here, it has basically ran the install module. It has generated the file, the app.component file and typical white project file. It also has installed all the dependency related to PowerApps, the PowerApps version, the all the required dependency and everything. And now what you can do is you can just say npm run dev, and what it will do is it will load it and it is going to give you the local URL which you can use. So copy this, put it here, and once you come and check, it is going to run it from your local machine, right? So let me refresh this again. Yep. So it is running. Now what you can do is you can basically start utilizing or start adding or modifying the code base which you wanted to make. For example, if I would say I don't want this, rather than y plus react, I'm going to say hello world demo for code apps, and let me just randomly copy some text from here, which is basically this one. Just randomly copying it and putting it here so that we have it in the paragraph, right? And I'm going to just save it. Okay, so this is going to be a live experience. So as soon as you are going to save it, it will reload the page and you can see the options right here itself, right? So you can see that the new code base has been changed or rectified. Now everything else related to adding the data source and everything still remains the same. But the good thing is that adding a data source also now is an experience, right? It means that what you can do is you can come here and let me kill this, and you can basically run a command called mpx called data source, add data source, uh, which is going to ask you as an input itself, right? Now if you come here and if you run this command, what it will do is it will ask you the app API ID. Okay, now what do you mean by API ID, right? If you think about it, the API ID is nothing but, if you would have added it previously, it is basically the app ID or the connection ID. So this is what it says, right? The older pack command was to pack code at data source and the API name. And now what we have is we have basically an option to add the data source using the wizard. Okay, so for example, now you wanted to add an connection to your SharePoint or your Office 365 connector. You need to still make sure that the connections is already created, And once you have a connection created, for example, let's go and do for the Outlook, right? And if you click here, so this one which you have in the URL, which is shared Office 365, it is your app ID. This is basically kind of a unique ID through which the connectors are being created within your Power Platform environment. So I'm going to say that. And now it is saying, are you using connection reference instead of connection ID? Now, what does this mean, right? So if you have a connection reference, it means that you have a Power Platform solution, which is a very much recommended way to do that, because eventually you are going to also publish your code apps into a solution. It means that rather than using the individual connection ID, what you could do is you can basically do it via connection reference. So what you can do is, if you are using connection reference, you can say yes here. If you are not using connection reference, you can say no here. Recommended way is to use the connection reference, so that when you are going to publish the code apps into the solution, all the connection reference are also pushed along with the actual code. For simplicity, for now, I'm just saying going to say no, and then it is going to ask me the connection ID. And as a prerequisite, which was already there, what you have to do is you can copy the connection ID from here and you can paste it, right? So, okay, the paste did not work correctly, so I'm going to run it again. I'm going to say shared Office 365. Once I'm going to say no, and then I'm going to copy the connection ID and paste it here and say enter. Now, what this will do is, this is going to create an auto-generated code, right? So if you now come here and see, there would be a difference in your code base where you would see a new folder called generated, where it would have generated a model and the service class. Okay. Uh, so people who are not aware of this concept, basically the way code apps work is that as soon as you would add any kind of data source connector, it will going to create some auto-generated code for you, which where there would be a model and there would be a service class. Now the service class would have all the methods which are available or actions which are available in the Power Platform connector, right? And in this case, we are talking about Outlook. So you can see here, there are almost all the actions which are available are being added here as a method, and also the code to basically run that particular action or the method, right? So this is, consider this is like your a service provider class. It means what this service provider class is going to do, it is going to basically give you an ability to integrate into your front end, right? In this case, it would be React components. Okay, so this is your service provider class. It is an auto-generated file, so you don't have to manually write code or find what parameters need to pass and everything. Everything would be taken care on itself, right? And from here, typically, as you are building any React-based application or anything, what you can do is whatever method you wanted to call into your component, you can import the service class. You can create the, once you have import the service class, you can basically call the actual method, pass the parameters and all of that. And because this is a Power Platform based code apps, you don't need to take care of authentication, you don't need to take care of the user permissions or anything. Okay, it is going to run under user context. It is still going to use the connections which are already there. So if there is no connection, it is going to ask user to create the connection like you see with the Canvas app and all of that. And once the connection is available, that is when basically the user is going to run it under a particular account. Okay, so yeah, so this was, this is kind of a little bit of how you can basically add the data source connection. And because this is the first video around using NPM CLI, you can see that there are some, the documentation is still old and still pointing to some of the commands about the pack code and all everything, which will eventually be replaced with the NPM CLI command, so that, there would be a common documentation around that. But as of creating this video, it is still using the pack code, but this is still very much important to understand, like what does basically a data source and everything means, right? Like for example, the pack CLI as of now, the NPM CLI as of now doesn't have an option for you to choose the table ID and dataset ID and all of that, right? So which is going to come eventually. But for now, you are basically be able to create any connector which doesn't relies on the table ID or dataset, which is basically data source. So SharePoint is one of the case. Dataverse is one of the case, SQL is one of the case. All of these are basically this thing. And recently we have been also that like there is also a way for us to basically add flows as in the data source, like the way we basically do it, wherein you can use the npm command list flows, which is going to also list the flows which are available. The flow needs to be pre-created, and the trigger should be a power apps trigger, otherwise it will not display, it will not basically list it down. But this is where also same thing is happens. It generates some files, it generates from service class, some model class, through which we would be able to call the power automate flow from your code apps. Okay, so yeah, so that was the kind of summary for today. And again, this is kind of a similar kind of video which we did regarding Hello World Code Apps, Power Apps, few months back. But now that we have a new CLI in place, I thought it is very important for you to understand to basically create the project using this one, the CLI, rather than basically following the old videos. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe, and I'm going to share quite few videos on the Power Apps, Code Apps, which is going to help you to basically create an alternate way of creating the Power Apps using the modern technologies tool, the React and everything. Thank you for watching. See you soon.